Let's move into quick hits and talk about some quick cash. Got to talk about Apple. I think it was down 5% after the market. It's off the lows now, about 4% down. I don't think that's really a big move.
At this point, I think it's taking it in stride. I went out long Apple. We had a good little strategy earlier in the week for a move back to that 377. But if you had some still for a macro trade, you're coming in today saying, what do I do here? So if you look at Apple, you will see last night it was all the way down to the lower support area. It was down about $21 overnight into 355. When I came in here, it was around 360. I think you could add, or if you sold up here, because that was a strategy into macro resistance, I think you add some down here, and perhaps maybe it even goes positive today, but I think the down move will be muted here. I think you can't get emotional. Tim Cook, Ives, the whole management team will take this company to the next level, so don't just get rid of your Apple because you saw Steve Jobs resign.
I think it's an awesome opportunity for new investors as well, and I think if you stick to your discipline and you don't let your emotions get in the way, this is just a great opportunity.
Yes.
Let's move into another tech name, RIMM. Relatively, it looks cheap, but I don't know, I just don't, it doesn't have the market anymore. Even on the enterprise side, you see a lot of people around on Wall Street walking around with iPhones.
Yes, RIMM has been weaker, but lately we've been targeting it for a cash flow trade. If you've been watching the morning call, it's been acting a bit better. These are the patterns I like to see. This is when it broke this recent downtrend. Okay, it held higher. Yesterday, we targeted 27.85 for a buy, closing the highs of the day. I still think this has room to fill the gap up to about 31.
Okay, so now MGM, we had a fantastic call with Las Vegas Sands going into earnings. It looks like MGM is starting to catch up to the darling of the casino names.
Yeah, MGM was fully pummeled. It went from 16 below 10. LVS obviously is a better longer-term investment, but there's some trades here in MGM. Yesterday on my radio, I said, let's look at MGM to see if it plays some catch-up. It was up 9% yesterday. So if you look at MGM, I'm still holding some. I got in yesterday. I think this fills the gap up to about 11.25, and then perhaps you could even see a move up to 13 at some point, later this year. So if you want to enter down here, I think you have a short-term trade as well as, a 20-30% move from this entry point.
Let's talk about a quick banking name since we had Beauvais out yesterday on positive on the banks. We had Meredith Whitney positive on Bank of America. Let's take a look at JP Morgan.
Okay, JP Morgan, obviously the class of the group. It had a nice technical red dog reversal 2 days ago, and since then it's had some follow through. And yesterday, the banks actually showed relative strength versus the markets for the first time, so I think you could pay some attention here. Take a look at JP Morgan. You will see this is the red dog reversal we all love. When it trades below support, okay, gets people out, comes back above, closes strong, that is your reversal pattern for an entry. Yesterday you had some follow through. It's going to meet some resistance around 36.70, but if you bought in this area, maybe sell some, but I think you could hold it for a move back up to 38.39, which is where it broke down from, and this will be some big resistance.
And let's wrap it up with Sina. Piper Jaffray is out saying that its version of Facebook won't be shut down.
Okay, well that's a positive, and Sina right now has definitely been lagging. I do see a tight wedge here. I'm going to watch this today. If you take a look here, these are great patterns because they're tight, and you at least have an entry point. Here's your macro trend line. It's on a, it's still above its uptrend right here. I would say if this starts to get above this 97 or so, you could see a nice cash flow trade up to upper resistance here, so watch this close.
Okay, great. 5 picks for us to look at today. We're also going to look at the energy sector and the ag names.